Welcome everyone! You have made it to video 3 in my series, 3 Keys of Becoming a Financially Healthy Couple. So if you haven't watched videos number 1 and 2, be sure to do that and then come back here, because what we're going to do is take the information from videos 1 and 2, add it to this one, and then you'll have some really good next steps to make sure you are becoming a financially healthy couple. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Lindsay. I'm a financial therapist, and I help couples get on the same page with their money by using financial psychology. We are talking about the third key in making your relationship super healthy financially. So let's do a quick recap before we dive in. So the 3 keys are assess, alleviate, and today we are going to amplify your relationship. So in the assessment phase, we dug into money mindset issues with you, with your partner, compassion, things like that. In the alleviate phase, we talked more about the numbers, planning, stuff like that. And today what we're going to do is look again more at the relationship side of things and make sure that you are really amplifying your relationship by doing everything in your power to have a really healthy, strong, sexy relationship. So same thing in terms of scoring as we did in videos 1 and 2. You're going to grab a pen and paper and you're going to give yourself a score on a scale from 1 to 10 for each of these 3 principles. Let's dive in. Principle number 1 underneath the Amplify umbrella is calling for backup. This one is one that I personally have struggled with. Calling for backup is when you find yourself doing well financially, you've got your money kind of sorted out, you know what's coming in, you know what's going out, you are saving for your future, you've asked for your raise at work, etc., etc. But life still happens and you come home from a long day at work and the house needs to be cleaned, or you forgot to order groceries. So in this one, what you're going to do is take a look at your relationship and see if there's any places where you can outsource or let go of tasks that aren't serving you and aren't helping to create a healthy relationship. So for a lot of my couples, this looks like outsourcing things like cleaning, grocery pickup, dog walking. For other couples, what they might have found by the time they're to this point in the work with me is that yes, they might be doing well financially, but as we were talking about things, some other kind of tricky things came up from childhood, and it makes the most sense to actually go to a therapist to dig into some of those child issues. So this is where we're really calling for backup. We are saying, hey, I'm human, I can't do it all, and I'm ready to let go of some things on my plate. So when you're scoring yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 means you're doing the most, you're doing all the things. Give yourself a 1 and give yourself a 10 if you have comfortably outsourced or let go of the things that aren't serving you. So give yourself a 1 if you feel like a chicken with your head cut off, and give yourself a 10 if you and your partner have taken steps to let go of the things that are not serving you and to call for backup to make sure that the things that you need are being taken care of. Jot that number down, and then we'll move on to principle number 2. Principle number 2 is acknowledging the great. And this is one of my favorite steps when I'm working with couples. Oftentimes, by the time they've done some work with me, we've been talking about a lot of heavy stuff. And this is an important time to just pause and acknowledge all the amazing things that are going well in their relationship, and that as a couple, the things that they excel in. So for some couples, they have an amazing sense of humor. So we spend some time together kind of making sure that they are doing fun things together and are engaging in humor together, and acknowledging that, wow, that is really a strength of ours, and making sure to really make that a part of their relationship. For other couples, they might have realized another area of intimacy. We talk a lot about intimacy in a financial sense here, but they might have realized that their physical intimacy, their sex life had kind of taken a nosedive. And what we do is talk about different ways to get that back going, so that way they can acknowledge that great part of their relationship. So as you're giving yourself a score on a scale of 1 to 10, think about that. Give yourself a 1 if you have a hard time thinking about the positives in your relationship, if you think back to when you first started dating or moving in together or whatever it was. If you're not doing those types of things, so maybe you used to love going to movies or taking your dogs for a long walk and you haven't done those things in a long time, then give yourself a 1. Give yourself a 10 if you are actively acknowledging the great things about you, about your partner, and about you guys as a couple, and you're engaging in doing things that help you to really amplify your relationship daily. Take a second, think about it, jot that number down, and then we'll move on to number 3. Principle 3 is automating strength. The problem that I often see with my couples is by the time we reach this point in our work together, they're starting to get a little bit fatigued and they're worried that the stuff that we've done together won't continue to work after we wrap up our work. It will, but that's just this negative thought that kind of snakes their way into their brain. And so what we want to make sure is that they have planned out a way to make sure that the things that we've done together are sustainable and can become a part of their day-to-day maintenance in their relationship. So what I like to think about, even though it's different for every couple, is how often are you checking back in on the state of your partnership? My friends Bud and Sarah over at the Confident Couples podcast, they do what they call a life date once a month, where they literally get together, they go out to dinner, they sit at the bar, and they check in and ask each other, oh, how are we doing on our health and our careers? How are we doing together as a partnership? What's going on with our money? What travel do we want to do? That's what they do to check in and make sure that they're staying on top of their relationship, to make sure that their relationship is going in the direction that they want it to be going in. So think about what that might look like for you. But when it comes to ranking how well you and your partner are doing in terms of creating a relationship where a sustainable, open, and strong relationship is the norm. So what you want to be doing is checking in on a semi-regular basis. You get to decide what that duration is, but you want to make sure that your relationship still feels secure and open, and you've got a plan of attack for if and when mistakes happen, and you guys are generally on the same page. If you're doing that, give yourself a 10, and if you're on the opposite end where you don't say anything to your partner aside from like, hey, what are we getting for dinner? You don't ask them about their day, you don't ask them about their goals, and vice versa, then give yourself a 1. So write down that number. Think about all the different things that we've covered over these past 3 videos. We have talked about assessing your relationship, alleviating the money stuff in your relationship, and amplifying your relationship. What I want you to do now is total up the scores from all 3 videos. Take a second to do that. If you need to pause and go back, that's totally fine. If you've scored anything below a 64, the good news is there's room for improvement, and I've got ways to help you improve your relationship with money. Depending on when you're watching this, I have a couple different offers that I think you are really going to love. Number 1 is to pre-order my book, The Financial Anxiety Solution. I cover the tips from that book in this video here if you haven't seen it yet. And if you are watching this anytime before like February 18th of 2020, the book is available for pre-order. And as a bonus and as a thank you, if you pre-order 2 copies of my book and send me the proof, I've got all the information in the description box, you'll get to come to a free budgeting workshop where you get to totally automate your finances so you can have one less thing on your to-do list and take that extra step towards becoming a financially healthy couple. So that's option number 1, is pre-order my book. If you pre-order 2 copies, then you get to come to a budgeting workshop for free. The second option is that maybe you want to work with me one-on-one. So I offer a group consulting program that I'll drop in the links below. And my group consulting program offers the opportunity for us to meet, and really I should say it's a 2-on-1 because I work with couples, but it offers us the opportunity to meet a couple of times so I can get to know your personal barriers and your personal strengths to make sure that the things that I've shared with you in this 3 Keys series is really going to work for you. So if you're interested in that, the information is also below in the description box. Side note, it is application based only because I only work with couples who are really dedicated towards becoming a boundless, powerhouse, badass couple. I'm not going to work with couples where one person is dragging the other. So those are the couple of options: book, workshop, and potentially even some 2-on-1 work in one of my group consulting programs. All the information you need is in the link in the description box. Be sure to click on that subscribe button so you don't miss any of my videos, and I'll see you next time.